Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to learn some really important and useful topics in PHP, like what variable scope means, how the default argument works in a function, and why understanding the object-oriented programming or OOPS concept is super helpful if you want to write a better and more organized code. So stay with me till the end. Let's make the PHP easier together. Let's get started. Understanding variable scope. What is the variable scope refers to? Variable scope means where the variable can be accessed or used in your code. There are mainly three types of variable scopes in PHP: local scope, global scope, and static scope. Here you can see variable scope is the extent of variables visibility within the space of the PHP program. By default, variables used within a function are local. Their impact is restricted to the function space alone, and cannot be viewed or manipulated from outside the function in which they exist. This bonding of variable maintains a degree of separation between the main program and its functions, and it reduces the chances of variables from the main program affecting variables within a function. However, PHP offers the global keyword when applied to variable inside the function. This keyword turns the variable into the global variable, making it visible both inside and outside the function. Now we will see actual example on these three variable scopes. First, we have to start the XAMPP Apache server to execute our code, and I will go to the Sublime text. Here I will remove this code. Now first we see the example on local scope of variable. Here I will declare one variable, one function, and I will give the name as my func. Now I will declare one variable and assign the value to that variable as 10, and let's print it. Now here I will call that function my func, and let's print here that variable. Now save it. This is the example on local scope. Variables local scope. Here I will end this. In this example, this is the variable that initialized within that function and that can be used within that function only. This is the local scope for that variable, and when we access that local variable outside the function, here you can see it shows an error that undefined variable. Now save it, go to the browser. This example.php saved in XAMPP htdocs janvi folder. Here you can see the example on variables local scope. Here is the output when we print inside the function, and when we try to access that outside the function, it is showing an error at line 16. Here you can see in line 16. Now we will see the example on variable global scope. I will remove this code, and outside the function I will declare one variable as x is equals to 2, and here I will declare one function as my, and Here I will first try to print it. Now I will save this in the function call. Let's check one more time. Here you can see the error is showing. When we access that global variable inside the function, it gives an error that undefined variable $x. Now we will try to access that. Now I will save this. Using the global keyword, we can access that x value inside the function. Here you can see x value contains 2. Now next scope is static. Here I will declare one function. My count, and here I use the keyword as static, and the count is equals to 0. Now here I will increment the count variable. Let's print that. Now outside the function we have to give the function call. Now let's copy this one more time. The static scope, a variable inside a function that keeps its value between the function calls using the static keyword. Now we will execute this code. Here you can see. Here you can see the first function call $count is first initialized to 0, and when only the first time the count plus plus makes it 1, it prints 1. Next when we give the second call to that function, the function runs again. $count is not reset because it's static. It was 1, now becomes 2, and it prints 2. When we call that same function third time, the function runs again. Count was 2, now becomes plus plus, means plus 1 is 3. Now it has the value 3. When we call the first call that function first time, it gives output 1, second time 2, third time 3. Using static means the count variable remembers its last value each time when the function is called. It is useful for counters, catching, or static tracking inside the function. Next one is using default arguments in function. You can assign default values to any or all of these arguments in the function definition. These default values are used in case the function evocation, means call, is missing some arguments. Means the in PHP the default argument is a value you assign to a function parameter, so that if no value is passed for that parameter, the default is used. Now we will see one small example on this. I will remove this code. default argument. Now here I will declare one function, and function name is grid, and here I will declare the name variable and give the value as guest. Now inside the function I will give the echo statement as hello and that name. Now outside the function, first I will call that function without any arguments, and next again here I will do the break. Again I will call that same function but with parameter. Now I will save it and refresh the browser. Here you can see when I am not I'm not given the any parameter for that function, then it is giving the getting the default argument that I have passed in the parenthesis. Here you can see, and when I am passing that parameter, then it is getting that passed parameter. So this is the default parameter, default argument, that in case if the user has not passed any argument, then the default argument is executed. Next one is the OOPS concept. OOP stands for Object Oriented Programming. Procedural programming is about writing the procedure or a functions that performs an operation on data, while the object-oriented programming is about creating an object that contains both data and functions. Object-oriented programming has several advantages over a procedural programming. OOPS is a faster and easier to execute. OOPS provides a clear structure for the program. OOPS helps to keep the PHP code dry, means don't repeat yourself, and makes the code easier to maintain, modify and debug. OOPS makes it possible to create a full reusable application with less code and shorter development time. The object-oriented programming is a way of writing the code where you create an object that represent the real-world things. It helps make the code more organized, reusable, and easier to manage. In OOPS concept, the classes, objects, properties, and methods, inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism, these all things come. Now we will see one by one. First, we move to creating a class and all. So creating a classes. Class is a self-contained independent collection of variables and functions which work together to perform one or more specific task and usually related. Variables within a class are called properties. Functions are called as methods. Basically, the class is a blueprint for creating an object. Now we will see one example. The example on class. Here I will to create a class, we have to use the class keyword followed by the class name, and here we have to declare the variable, functions, methods, whatever inside the curly braces. Here I will declare one variable. Now I will give a function. Inside I will give the echo statement. The car is moving. This is how we create a class here using the class keyword. The next topic is the object. Object is an instant of class. After this, I will take one more function and I will give the name as set color. $C, and here using this keyword I will make that color is equals to $C. Now I will declare one more function as show color. And here I will give the echo statement. The color of the car is $this color. Here I will use the break. Now outside the class I will create an object as my car, and to create the object we use the new keyword. Now we one by one call that all methods using the object. Set color, next one is drive, and last one is show color. Here I will give the break, so when it print it will come to next line. Here you can see when our object is created for that class car, and when the object is created the program starts from here, and the function using that object we call that method and set color, and we are passing the parameters as well. Now this portion is executed, and after that the show color, first it will print the car is moving, then the this color using this keyword the color is equals to $C. Next another the show color, it prints the color of the car, means when we pass that argument that color is printed here. Now we will save this, and here you can see the car is moving, the color of the car is red.